We are back and it's time to move into the next elimination challenge here at the next level. And of course, we have 2 games that are remaining. We have already seen competitions on Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric and Far Cry 4, but there's still many awesome games to come and a very special final challenge that we'll have today. But now, it's time to introduce our next elimination challenge, and that game is...
When we set out to reboot Gauntlet, we wanted to recapture the fun and excitement of the 1980s original arcade classic. Like the original arcade game, this rebirth is a 4-player cooperative dungeon crawler involving 4 distinct heroes. Like the classic, we have Thor the Warrior. Armed with an axe, he uses brutal close-range melee strikes, including a spinning attack that turns him into a whirling tornado of death. Thyra the Valkyrie is armed with a spear for frontal charges, as well as a shield that blocks assaults and becomes a destructive boomerang when thrown. Questor the Elf is precise in his strikes and can release a volley of arrows and drop tactical bombs. The Elf can also utilize a rolling tumble to quickly dodge attacks and traps. And Merlin the Wizard, who has a variety of magic attacks to choose from. He can blast his adversaries with many spells, including comets of molten lava, shards of ice, and arcing bolts of chain lightning. Some abilities can even be upgraded through perks. For example, Questor's bombs can be upgraded and attached to arrows. Thyra's shield can be improved to reflect enemy fire. In the backstory of Gauntlet, a young wizard, Morak, conjures the gauntlet seeking glory. He is instead trapped within its depths. Using wizardry, he calls on heroes and convinces them to enter the gauntlet and set him free. Gauntlet consists of environments like dusty crypts, dark caves, fiery dungeons, and each environment has multiple styles of gameplay. Some dungeon maps are handcrafted experiences with secrets to discover, while other levels are procedurally generated, with death itself chasing players through an unpredictable labyrinth. There are also endurance maps filled with wave after wave of monsters to survive. Inside Gauntlet, players will be able to buy new armor and weapons with the gold they acquire during gameplay. Even more exciting is the ability to unlock relics. Relics are where the big powers lie. Use a mirror relic to create a magic army to fight in the battle. There are relics to freeze your enemies, blow them away in a tornado, set them on fire, increase speed, and many more. Regardless of your skill level, there are thousands of ways to die in the Gauntlet. To survive, seek delicious roast turkey to restore health. How will you die? Hordes of monsters, immortal death, devious traps, or bone-crushing bosses. Perhaps the biggest threat you'll face could be your friends competing for food and gold beside you. You're probably going to get your fellow heroes killed, accidentally or not. But that's okay in the Gauntlet. You actually get perks for dying. You'll be able to show off your status with the leaderboards, ranking your kills, loot, and the fastest time. Replay the board and beat your own scores at higher difficulty settings. On September 23rd, invade the Gauntlet and fight for glory, treasure, and succulent turkey.
What's up, everyone? We are back, and the game is Gauntlet. Once again, a Gauntlet. Yes, I'm so looking forward to this. I got Spike here. He's throwing out some fighting. Yeah, I like it.
I'm psyched.
Yes.
Although I have heard, so Scoots just came up to me and told me that his dude, he's replaced his dude in this challenge, right? His player. And he's got a new player, but he's still going to be playing Questor the Elf, so we'll see how that goes.
That's right. Chris, the 3-time reigning Warframe champion at this event so far, will not be here in an official playing capacity, but an advisory one. So he is actually going to be potentially coaching a little bit there. Maybe some insider information. We see him right down there. So have you passed on all of your Questor knowledge so far? Good. All right, we got the double thumbs up. This guy knows what to do then.
That looks good. So you mentioned it right. We're playing Gauntlet.
Yes.
You know, we've seen some really exceptional level play so far. We've seen some new meta stuff. We've seen some cool stuff. The game is Gauntlet. It's out on September 23rd. The co-op hack and slash adventure, and it's been pretty fun to watch and cast, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's been different every time. We've seen some very successful runs. We've seen our coaches fail, which is hilarious. We've seen some very close matches as well. We've had some that have come right down to the wire. So far, though, Questor has been doing very well. Chris, if you actually remember, played Questor days 2 and 3, but did win with the Valkyrie on day 1, so yeah.
Absolutely, Questor's really good. He jumps around, he gets that gold, he stays alive. That's what we like to see. Just before, in case we forget, I would like to mention, just think back to that rock, paper, scissors game that we saw those coaches
do.
No.
Don't remind me of that. Don't remind me. That makes me weep. That makes me weep on the inside. All right, so it looks like our players are going to be ready to go here in just a second. Are they ready to rock? Yeah, there's our teams here in the top left-hand corner. We have Team Scoots. Bottom left-hand corner, we have Team Trolls. Bottom right-hand corner, we have Team Pterodactyls. Top right-hand corner, that is Team Mecha. Now, as you guys know, of course, Team Scoots, Team Trolls, they already have someone in the finals today already. We are looking for some members of Team Pterodactyls and Team Mecha to step things up here. So obviously, this is an awesome recreation of the original arcade game. There's so much to do, but what exactly are we going to be looking at here for our competitors to be playing?
All right, so we're going to see the first 3 levels from the crypts. So this is where you start off, the first 3 levels of the game. We've got the first level, which is the Tomb of the Sun King.
Yeah, and actually, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but they can actually go ahead and get started now. We'll talk about this as we're actually moving into it. So go ahead and launch into the game. Sorry, please continue.
I've seen they're just playing on normal difficulty. On the stream earlier as well, we were playing on It's Unfair.
Oh, yeah?
We didn't get so far.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It was not so successful.
It's not very fair. Okay, so we're looking at the characters. Like, they're choosing their characters. Merlin, from right to left, Merlin, Thyra, Questor, and Thor, the man himself. I love Thor.
That's right. And all of these characters play very differently as well. Thor really wants to get in your face, wants to do a lot of damage. Valkyrie much the same way. The other two are quite different. Why don't you give us a quick little introduction to these characters and what we can expect from their different playstyles?
Absolutely. So Thor basically is all business. He's going to swing that axe around. He's going to try and get it in the faces, in the necks, in the crotches of his enemy, take them down as best that he can. He's completely going to go for it. The wizard, we see at the front, the yellow wizard right there. He's using his chain lightning spell right now. His job, he wants to stay at the back. He's got some great utility, some great support, but he's fragile and he lacks movement speed. On the other hand, let's look at Questor the Elf. He's got all the movement speed he needs. He's just dived, he's got that gold, he's got that food, and he's straight on where everybody else. Thor running into the room, he's trying to secure the gold as best he can. And the final character is Thyra the Valkyrie. She's a super tanky. She's got a great shield, she can block, she can throw the shield, she can do damage. She's great as well. So what the team has just done, they've taken down the spawner. They're moving super quickly. These guys have practiced. It looks like they're well honed.
Yeah, I mean, this is giving you flashbacks to yesterday's Elimination Challenge as well, as it was a very efficient run, and we can clearly see that the Questor knowledge has been passed on to Team Scoots' new Questor, because he has gotten almost all of the gold. He has the crown right now, which is going to give him an extra 200 points at the end if he's still holding on to it. He has been diving everywhere and picking up almost every item on the map.
Absolutely. We saw Merlin die there. He got caught over the spike trap, which is never a good thing. But what Questor did then, because he's so nimble, he was able to roll straight back, pick up Merlin's gold that he's dropped, and I hope he's going to take it to the bank for Merlin, but I'm not sure that might happen.
No, probably not. And they did accidentally mess up with the keys. As we've seen in this map, there are more doors than there are keys available for you to grab, which means since they opened up that path that led back to where they were before, they don't get access to that room of loot down in the bottom right-hand corner.
Absolutely, a room of loot, but also food. And at this point, especially the warrior and Merlin, they are low on health. Questor is a machine. You see that? He dropped the crown, but he rolled and picked it up straight away as well. So that's super smart play. Questor playing very well, taking down that spawner, dropping that bomb, taking out the enemies, using that sniper shot. Lovely play. I could really see that Sir Scoots and his team have honed that character very well.
They absolutely have, to be honest. I don't know, man. I would need to see a showdown from this guy and Chris right now, because, Chris, I'm calling you out. This may be a better Questor than you are. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it might be the sparring partner has become the sensei. We've got a few more spawners to take down. The spawners are really important that you take them down. Just like in the original arcade classic. The crown has dropped. Questor's back on it. He's dropped the crown though, he won't get that back unfortunately, he did look for it. Just like in the original, you need to take down the spawners, because that's what stops the new monsters, the mummies, from spawning.
That's absolutely right, and looks like Thor and Valkyrie here are just waiting. They were trying to hold off to the side, tried to get the first to jump into this room and pick up as much loot as possible. Oh, Questor loses out there on some of the gold. But very smartly, of course, Questor and Merlin slowly walked back, waited for that last mummy to finish up, because they know you can't advance into the next room until all the enemies are destroyed.
Yeah, absolutely. The other thing that Questor did earlier is he took the food. That means he's denying food to the characters that really needed, the frontline melee characters. And that's a little bit naughty.
It is, but you know what? It's paid off for him so well. So far, he has been able to keep his health pretty high. He's grabbed the majority of the gold. He'll need to start diving and grabbing the rest. There he goes. Picks up about 80% of the gold in this room, as a matter of fact.
Absolutely. So while his friends are having to deal with the oncoming wave and that spawner, he's able to jump in there and get as much as he can. And he doesn't... He's doing very well. It's very hard to hit Questor. I mean, yeah, he's a little fragile, but it's very hard to hit him, especially when he's rolling like this. This reminds me of like Wind Waker speedruns back in the day, where you just keep rolling.
Oh, yes. Oh, man. Oh, you're getting after my heart right there. I'm a big speedrun guy, so yes, absolutely. I know that reference. All right, so here we have it. This is one of the more difficult rooms. As you can see, Thor and Merlin are getting very low in health. Even Questor has been hit a few times, but they just need to make their way through just 2 more spawners. One goes down. Ooh, Questor narrowly avoiding a shot there. If Thor gets hit with this, he is going to die. Ooh, it looks like he just got out of the way.
I love the way that Questor plays. He's a dual stick shooter, but he's also very twitch based. You really need to be aiming the right way, you need to be moving the right way. Questor's all about movement and positioning. Whereas some of the other characters, I mean, there's always movement involved, and positioning is obviously important, but the other characters aren't as... They don't rely so much on movement and positioning, and really that's what defines Questor.
You're absolutely right. When I was playing Questor, I was finding that I had the most success with him whenever I would dive into enemies, plant a bomb, dive back out, let them start coming after me, and just kind of run around in a circle and try and kite them all day.
Yeah, absolutely. We haven't seen Merlin do it, but the real key to Merlin is you set up that lightning field in a good place where it blocks your opponents from getting in, blocks your enemies from getting in, and then you bombard them from range. It's a shame.
Oh no! Questor was trying to be super careful there, but he died right at the end. He loses the crown, but it still looks like he might have enough to take this.
But Merlin's 1 point behind. No!
Wow. Okay, so guys, this is very close, obviously, but things are not done. We still have 2 more levels. We still have 2 more levels, and it is your cumulative score in all 3 of those levels that determines who advances. But wow!
Look at this. You can just see the determination on these guys' faces. Look at them. That is amazing. Like, he was so 1 point off, and it could have been so different. And it's a cumulative score, like you said. You know, if you're 1 point behind at this level, you don't have that advantage that you need, really, to start dominating and shutting the rest of the players out of the winning.
That's right. He dropped about 200 gold and that crown as well, which would have been a 400-point swing, just a fraction of a second from ending the level.
Can you imagine if one of the other characters picked up the crown? That would have completely changed it.
Oh, that would have been devastating. But now we're on a very different level here. So the first one is preset. It integrates you into the game. But this one is quite different. Explain to us what's going on here.
Right, so it's a procedurally generated dungeon. No 2 dungeons are the same. You have to move through, you have to destroy the mummies like you would do before, but there is a difference. Firstly, you have new monsters. Secondly, this guy behind is called Death. He means business. You cannot kill him. You cannot go toe-to-toe with him. If he touches you, you will die. You do not want to go toe-to-toe with him or just chat with him. He's not a friendly guy.
All right, so yes, Death is, generally not regarded as friendly, I would say. Usually a negative image in games, and this one is no different, of course. So he is going to respawn in the middle, trying to go after Thor. Thor's actually going to have to duck away. There we go. And he'll start opening these key doors up here to the top.
You will notice as well, that sort of aura around Death, it slows you. So if Death's behind you and you've got to run over a spike trap, for example, it can slow you enough to do enough damage to kill you in some instances. Look at Questor running in, getting the gold, dropping his bomb, moving around. That's super smart. They're going to kill the mummies. They're going to destroy the mummies in the room. They've got to get the keys, but also they've got to hope that Death doesn't turn up like he has just then, and he is making life very difficult. Valkyrie blocking the door. Valkyrie, very, very lucky.
Just barely getting away there. If Death had just turned just to the side, that would have been a certain death there. Valkyrie has already died. Merlin takes quite some damage as well. Questor manages to make it out without losing too much health, but Death is now in hot pursuit.
Absolutely. Merlin there. Remember, Merlin was right behind Questor in the last game, just by 1 point. So he's got to pick up as much gold from his fallen comrades as possible. That's going to make a big difference when it comes to the end of the game.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right. And Merlin is just seconds away from dying here. The crown in the favor of Questor right there, the elf for Team Scoots. Death is respawning. There they go. They're able to make it into the next round. Thor with a nice gold pickup there, and manages to snag a few kills too, but not before Merlin lands a nice 63-point shot with Fireball.
If I was Questor right now, I'd be staying ahead of the pack. I'd be looking for that food, and I'd be eating it before Merlin could get it.
Absolutely right. And he's got to get up there and find some soon, because Merlin, if he's able to grab that food, he'll be back up to full health. Not only that, he has picked up a ton of kills in this game. I would say it's going to be close here at the end, but Merlin played, don't forget, just 1 point under his opponent last time. Looks like he actually baits Thyra into taking death there, and Merlin manages to sneak away.
That's it. So the reason the door didn't open is because there was still another mummy left alive. So they were very clever there. While they knew where death was, they denied the rest of the characters from getting there. Looking pretty tight there for the warrior right now as well.
And looks like they're backing away and preventing Questor from walking on because they need to get around death before dying again. That's pretty smart play, though, and it looks like Questor, not being too big of a jerk, he's going to let him make sure that they can get out of there safely.
Absolutely. Merlin hanging on by a thread there. If he'd have been hit by one of those ghosts, or if he's hit by one of these spikes, it will be game over. He looked pretty close there.
Very close, and death spawned right behind them at the same time, so this is going to be, well, I would say a race to the death, but that would just be a bad pun right now.
It's the crown in the middle. Did Merlin see it is the question. I don't think he did. The crown did fall in the middle. It's disappeared now, but someone could have picked that. There it is. It was under that pot. They could have picked that up if they were clever.
Unfortunately, no one did, and it's a bit scary. Okay, thankfully, a couple of players pick up food because they were very close to dying just a second ago. Death is in hot pursuit. I think that's Questor down at the bottom. He's trying to get away, and he just barely escapes Death's clutches.
Absolutely. Merlin died. Questor picked up the gold. It's really between Questor and Merlin right now. They're coming to the end of this level. The funny thing is the next level, the challenge map, favors the wizard.
Yes, because there's not as much mobility that's necessary there. You just need to be able to lay out a ton of damage, and we've seen this Merlin is very good at doing just that.
Merlin is too close to death for comfort. He's got to move away. He just gets away. He's trying to fire those fireballs. Jeez. That is not a fun place to be.
Man, again, the bad punches keep coming to my mind. He was really flirting with death there. We'll see what they do when they make it into the next level. You're right, though. They're about ready to finish up this level here. We will move to that challenge map. That crown is once again gathered by Questor. That is a huge advantage. If Questor were to lose that right at the end, though, there's an opportunity for one of our other players to make it back into this.
Absolutely. So again, I think it's coming to the end, but actually I don't know, because like I said earlier, these are procedurally generated levels. If the computer wants, the computer will make a very, very, very tough dungeon for you.
And they've done a pretty good job of that so far. Questor did drop the crown, and I don't see it on the map anywhere, so it may have fallen down a pit. And Questor, someone needs to come over to the left and grab that gold.
Who's going to get the gold? Who's going to go through? I'm very interested. They're getting every single bit of gold they can. Every bit of gold counts. I'm very interested to see who is going to be ahead here. Can we see the scoreboard?
Can we bring up the scoreboard once again on the screen? There we go. Thyra, Thor, Merlin, Questor actually in last place. So if my quick mental calculations are working here, even though Merlin finished third, he was close enough to the top, and I believe his score disparity from the last one puts him in first overall. So that's unofficial. We'll find out the real numbers after this next map.
But what it has shown is how close it is. Thor and Thyra, they obviously were like, damn, we need to bring our level up right now. We were dominated in the first map. They've done exactly that. And right now, anyone could win this. You see the coaches rubbing the backs of their players, keeping them in the zone. Here we are on the challenge map. This is just one level. You can see the exit. Unfortunately, you can't get out of it yet. What you need to do is destroy the mummies, try and leave the food, take the gold, and get out after all 4 spawners have been destroyed, which will be spawning very, very, very shortly.
So you said leave the food, but they killed all of it now.
Well, the wizard just shot the food. Yeah, he does not want anyone having that food, and especially if he's like, if I can't have it, no one can have it.
And Questor did pick up the most gold from what I saw there at the beginning of that map, but it was still fairly close. So I think this is going to come down to kills here. 2 of the spawners are already down. Once all 4 spawners go down, a few tough enemies will pop up. Once they clear those, you're going to see gold shower down across the map.
Okay, this is a super, super quick clear. We were saying earlier, these players are very, very good. Some big mummies are going to spawn once they kill that guy, and then it's literally about killing the 4 mummies, picking up the gold. here is where Questor is in his element. He can roll around. If I were them, each color, I'd try and stand away from the rest of the colors. Because if you're with someone else, you're going to be competing for that gold. You don't want that.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And good strategy here is to be where your teammates aren't sometimes. There's the gold showering down, and Questor has actually not picked up that much.
Questor hasn't done it, and the Wizard and Thor have got it. I don't know how to call this. I don't know how to call this.
No, this is incredibly close. All right, so that is it. So we're going to need to see our we're going to need to see our scores and then the cumulative scores here in just a second. So on this map, Thyra with the gold advantage.
Thyra and Thor. I don't know how this is going to go. We need to click through to the final. We need to see the final scores. So I can see just about. It's Questor.
So it's up right now.
Then Thyra.
Whoa!
And Thor has taken it.
He wins by just 40 points. 40 points were all that separated Thor from the pack. What a crazy game there. And Team Mecha looks like they... Team Pterodactyls takes home a win there. Very well done.
After the first level, I would never have said that. Looking at how the first level was played, I was super surprised. And I think that's a testament to, like, you know, at any point in Gauntlet, if you play a good game, if you get that gold, if you concentrate on those kills, you can win that round. You know, if you keep that crown, there's always a way to come through and dominate. And we were blown away by that.
Oh, I know. And we see there that all the heroes, even though they play so different, they are very close in skill. So real quick, before we toss over to the interview with the winners, where can people find out more about Gauntlet? When is this game coming out, and how can they get their hands on it?
Right. Gauntlet. You can be playing the Gauntlet on September the 23rd. It's on Steam. You can pre-order it right now. And if you buy the 4-pack, you get it for the price of 3. But it's on Steam. Follow us at Play Gauntlet on Twitter or at Facebook. Thank you so much. That was amazing.
Oh, it was wonderful. Thank you very much, Spike. Anna, over to you for an interview with the winner.
Let's hear it for our winner, Justin.
Oh, yeah!
Justin, how do you feel right now?
Scared. That was pretty hard.
You feel scared?
Yeah.
It's over. Don't worry.
Yeah, but there's another round to go still for the...
That's true. That's true. Do you feel confident that you'll be able to take it in the finals?
I'm pretty sure I can win, yeah.
Yeah, pretty sure. Feeling confident. Steve, how do you feel?
Anna, I mean, look. I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the first Gauntlet win for a non-Scoots team member.
You may be right.
I
Scoots
believe
is
so.
feeling sad right now.
I think we've taken Scoots' honor from Gauntlet down. Chris is not playing, thankfully, this time. There he goes, he's trying to pants me. Good thing I wore a thong today. I'm very, very excited. I mean, look, this is my golden boy right here.
You are going to the finals for sure now. That prize pack is on the line, and also you might help Steve here win $5,000 for charity. How does that feel?
Feels pretty good. Yeah, I'm pretty glad I won that game. I make it all the way.
Yeah, what did you guys...
Science wins.
Apparently so. Apparently so. What is the science of Gauntlet? What did you do to win that round?
I mean, I focused a lot on trying to go where the other players weren't. Running for where they weren't getting the gold so I could steal as much as I could, and then the rest of the time I just spent killing. Warrior's really good at that.
And Steve, how much did you contribute to that?
I mean, look, I did a lot of shoulder rubs, I did a lot of back beats, and I was whispering a lot of little secrets in his ear. I think he listened.
So your shoulders and back are really relaxed right now?
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. We'll keep that relaxation. We will be moving on with more competition from the next level right after this.